It's Wednesday, so you know what time it is. It's time for another Curse of Oak Island recap. We're going to make this one super speedy because last night's episode was... And you can mark me on that one. Over in the money pit, they dug this borehole, and while digging this borehole, the team pulled up some wood, and in that wood they found wood, dirt, and wood, and they said, this is the money pit, we found it. They were 200% convinced that they were going to find the money pit during this episode. They do that every episode, but they were convinced. Unfortunately, later in the episode, they pulled up a core full of sand and they said, we found the backfill. And you know what their excuse was? While they were drilling, they hit a rock. And when they hit that rock must have turned their core drill away from the treasure vault. And they just missed it, right? They had it. They had proof that they had it. They had wood under Oak Island, but they hit a rock, and that rock turned their drill away from the treasure, and now they got to go dig another borehole 20 feet away. Hey, we're over in Lot 5. Over in Lot 5, where they're doing the foundation, it's what I say is interesting every week because they actually have a foundation and they're actually doing an archaeological dig. Yo, they found a bead. They did a week's worth of digging in that foundation and they found one red Venetian bead. Big news. Over in the swamp, we've seen the swamp quite a few times. When they run out of things to do on the Oak Island, what do? They drain the swamp. So they drain the swamp. They've been draining the swamp apparently for 2 weeks. If you remember 4 or 5 years ago, they drained the swamp. They put a bunch of plywood out here. They put a bunch of sensors out there. They set off some explosive. They mapped the entire thing. So they've been literally all over this entire swamp, right? Wrong, apparently. Because you know what they found in the swamp? They found some logs on top of the swamp in the north end. Now I gotta call BS here because again, several years ago they drained the entire thing. They threw plywood on that thing and they walked every square inch of that swamp. You tell me they didn't see these logs there? I think they were just holding on to these logs because they knew at some point in one of the future seasons they were going to need a filler episode, and last night's episode was the filler episode. And like I said at the beginning, it was 3, 4, 5 thumbs down. It was an absolute trash, terrible waste of an hour. Look, at this point, Oak Island every Tuesday is probably a waste of an hour in a lot of people's minds. Again, those of us that are addicted to it, we can't break the addiction. We're going to watch anyhow. But last night's 1 hour episode, there was absolutely nothing of concern, of importance, of excitement at all in any of it. They found something that they've obviously found before. They dug another hole in the money pit and found some sand that they put there themselves. And they found a tiny, tiny, tiny little Venetian bead in the foundation where they've already found Venetian beads that basically told him somebody lived there at some point in the past. That's your Curse of Oak Island recap. Have a good one. See you next week.